Just a couple days ago, it was announced that the Lakers are being sold by the Buss family to the owner of the Dodgers for what people are reporting is $10 billion. $10 billion is a healthy number and completely unsubstantiated. We do not know exactly what the total valuation is of the Lakers. There have been absolutely numerous media reports and people taking credit for having the scoop of what percentage is exactly being sold by the Buss family to Mark Walter and his group. Mark Walter was already an owner of the Lakers. Little known fact there, Normie. Mark Walter is taking majority control of the Lakers. He is not writing a $10 billion check. Even if he were buying 100% of the Lakers, he would not be writing a $10 billion check. As an enterprise value, don't forget you have to subtract the debt and any other purchase price adjustments in a purchase of a team. Purchase price adjustments can be in the form of an out-of-market contract or some sort of obligation of the existing owner that would not carry over to the new owner. So $10 billion is not the number that Walter is solving for. But wherever he gets his money, whether it's the Middle East or whether it's his mattress, he is going to figure out, along with the Buss family, how this is going to work. And what we're already hearing is that Jeannie Buss, the current governor who won a power struggle with her brothers after the dad died, she is the governor of the team. She fired her brother. Succession style, baby. He was doing like player personnel stuff and he would make trades and not tell her about it or stuff that she didn't approve. And she was like, hey, see you later, bro. And not in a negative way did she call him that. And in order for the Buss kids to sell, they had to vote. And they have never been able to agree to sell the team at any price to anyone until now, where they've agreed that it's time to take some cash off the table. The concept of being asset rich and cash poor is a concept that many people have that you wouldn't think have, because you would just assume, my God, that person's rich. And then you realize that, well, wait a minute, they don't have a lot of actual money to spend. They have things that are worth money. But if you don't sell something that's worth money, you can't use cash. Now, you can mortgage it. You can borrow against it. You can use it as collateral, except when you own a sports team, you are using much of that sports team as collateral for your existing debt. So, for example, in baseball, there's something called the league-wide credit facility, which is money that is borrowed using a national TV contract and your share of it as collateral. I swear to God, I'll pay you back. But if I don't, you can have my 1/30th share of all national revenue. But I want to borrow more money. All right, I'll put my tickets, food, beverage, merchandise, and my local TV deal in a pot, and I'll use that as collateral. Well, but what if nobody shows up to your games? All right, I'll put my own net worth as collateral of this debt. So there's so many different levels of debt that franchises have, that people have, that sometimes you say selling the underlying asset makes the most financial sense. Let me do a transaction where I can realize liquidity. Liquidity is when you have the ability to go buy a car, a boat, a piece of art, a house, something, not with debt, with actual money that you have in your bank. Now, of course, people are very complimentary of the fact that the Buss family bought this team at $67.5 million, and now they're selling it at $10 billion. That is quite a capital gain. What they're ignoring is that when Dr. Jerry Buss died, you get what's called a step-up in basis. So the kids are not paying a tax based on something bought for $67 million and now selling for $10 billion. If they were, just say that's a $10 billion gain. Let's say that your capital gains rate, just for purposes of this conversation, 20%, you're losing $2 billion off the top. But of course, they're not getting 10 billion. They're not paying 2 billion in taxes. The basis of their team is done the day Jerry Buss dies. What's the team worth? And when he died in 2000 and, oh, Coke will have it, whatever it is, I want to say 13 or 14, something like that. The team clearly was not worth 10 billion, but they argued at the time, and I'm sure got a very healthy step up in basis. What is happening in LA is a transaction that has not been approved by the league at all. There is nothing signed. You can bet your sweet bippy because you only sign it once the league approves it. But there was a rumor again, and I'm going to call it the CR. It's my new favorite term. The Cuban rumor. The Cuban rumor is that Mark Cuban was selling the Mavericks and he was going to keep control of the basketball operation and still be the governor, which means the controlling owner when you're in an owner's meeting and you get to vote on behalf of your team. And we told you on Nothing Personal that was complete horse hockey. And we were mocked from coast to coast, ocean to ocean. Except we turned out to be right. Because the rule in basketball is a pretty simple rule. You can't be the governor unless you're the majority shareholder. You can't be the governor unless you are out front, you own a higher percentage than anyone, and you are a majority. That was the whole issue, by the way. Side note, when you're putting together transactions and teams are being sold and they're using private equity or they're using Middle East money, whatever it is they're using, and you have to find a way to raise more money on your own. Is this sounding familiar, Celtics fans? When the deal had to change because Jazz Chisholm had to raise, not Jazz Chisholm, that's funny, Bill Chisholm. Give me a break. It's Monday. When Bill Chisholm, it's Friday. When hi, I'm David Samson. All right, I'm good. When Bill Chisholm originally was doing the transaction for Boston at what people are reporting at 6.1 billion, which is not true. It's a step transaction and it's already firm what the steps are and when and at what valuation. It's not hopeful that the Celtics will be worth more one day. The Celtics are being sold today for a blended price above 6.1. And you're reading in every article the Celtics sold at 6.1 billion. That's just wrong, period. But Bill Chisholm did not own enough of the Celtics to be the governor because he was taking money from these firms. It had to be changed, and it was. Same thing here. Mark Walter will be the governor of the team, not Jeannie Buss. No matter what Jeannie Buss keeps, and the rumor is the family's keeping 15%. Whether it's true or not, it makes no difference. Jeannie Buss herself will not own a majority of the team. She will not be the largest shareholder. She will not be the governor. And if you think that Mark Walter and his partners are buying the team for 10 billion, the Athletic said it could be 12 billion. It could be 20 billion. I don't care what it is. You're going to spend that amount of money and say, hey, we're good here. I'm too busy doing Andrew Friedman's job and Stan Kasten's job in LA. I don't have time to do your job too. I'm going to stand over both franchises and just go full Paul McCartney. Let it be, let it be. No. Stop believing what you read. Jeannie Buss will remain the governor for years. Give me a break.